Fantasy season is here. The NFL has begun, and it is time, everybody. The Fantasy Couriers are proud to be partnered with Underdog Fantasy, the most amazing, greatest daily fantasy sports site. You might have done all their best ball games during the offseason. I have friends that did dozens and dozens and dozens and are still talking about them. Now we're in season, and it is time for Pick'em. You can pick player stats. You can pick highs or lows of various stats within a game. It is an exciting time. You can stack them. There are specials throughout the season that will make the game even more exciting. And to make things better, Underdog Fantasy has an exclusive offer for new customers. Claim your mystery pickup and get a 100% deposit match up to $100 now by signing up on Underdog using the code COURIERS. Once you make that first deposit, head to the Pick'em lobby and find out which player special you get. If you're already a customer, share the code COURIERS to support our amazing podcast so that we can continue to grow with Underdog and have a blast in season with you. Now, on to the show.
What is happening, fellow fantasy GMs? I am JJ Wang. He is the bearded one, DJ Dub. And with our powers combined, we are the Fantasy Couriers.
Week 5, JJ Wang. I do have to say, this has been I have way too many fantasy football teams, but this has been my most successful week. It's been kind of nice. I've seen a lot of green on my sleepy bars. I usually don't see that, except for the game against you. You're pummeling my dead team.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta agree with you. This is probably one of my better weeks too. So I mean, I'm going into this. I'm a little happier than normal, but it is a downtime here in my household. We were gone over the weekend. We did come to find out that our pet guinea pig has died. So we're really depressed over here. So if I seem a little down, it's not because of the fantasy football. It's just because we had a loss in the family. It's a sad day here.
We'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers. You're a little farm.
I appreciate
You're a
that.
little farm in town down there. Like, you're in a little town, and somehow you have like a little farm living in your house.
Well, it started out as a little farm, but as I started out with a lot of animals in the beginning, and I haven't replaced the animals as they're dying off. So my farm is slowly starting to die off too. But
Is this called Dad Can't Say No when daughter asks for pets? Is that really what it is?
pretty much what it turns out to be, yeah.
You wanted the snake?
Yeah, I wanted the snake, but other than that, everything is pretty much, hey, can I get this? Sure.
Wow. So we're recording this before the Sunday night game started. I about choked. Just watched the Jets return that pick six, which I told you might happen there. Russell Wilson intercept pick six. But we are going to talk about all that was today, and we'll talk more about the Sunday and Monday on Thursday. That's just the way it goes. We said our kids are important, hence JJ Wang's sorrow for a guinea pig, because I'm pretty sure JJ Wang wouldn't have went out and bought himself a guinea pig unless he had the choice too. But it's been a fun day. Like, I was sitting there, I missed more football than I have for a while because of my son was in a play this weekend, so I got to go to a cast party, and I met one woman whose husband, she's like, yeah, my husband didn't come because I didn't want him to be there and thinking about football. I had the Dolphins game on my phone, just sitting there to the side. I wasn't being a total bum, but luckily they were playing the Giants, which, that's always good.
Yeah, it was kind of close. It was kind of close there in the beginning. I was starting to wonder, maybe the Giants need to stick around for a little bit.
They started a little event called Superlatives where, like, kids get, like, things they voted for. And by the time they did the Superlatives, the Dolphins scored 2 touchdowns to lock up that game there towards the end. So, basically we're coming out. We're looking probably Danny Dimes. We'll see how bad the injury is from him. The worst injury probably is the Bills' defense. Milano going down. Looks like it might be a season-ending knee. But, I mean, really, my only thoughts before I let you get into your bread and butter is I don't like games overseas. Period, comma, exclamation point, any sort of punctuation I can think of. England games are poo. One of the best teams in the NFL look like a heaping pile of poo, which we might get to. But it's just I just don't understand. It'd be like the one of the big soccer league, Premier League, bringing their two best teams, taking away a home game from their best team, and making them play in Arizona in the sun. It just doesn't make sense to me. But that's just my rant for the
I
day.
mean, but I mean,
It's money.
they probably. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Probably like Thursday night games don't make sense. I mean, we've been complaining about Thursday nights for ever since it started about how bad the games are, and that's not going anywhere. And England seems to like football at the moment. There's a lot of money over there, so I'm pretty sure we can get used to that as well. But yeah, the games are great. I mean, Jacksonville did look a little better, but like
They
you
were
said,
there.
they stayed there. So I mean, they were kind of used to it. But
Plus,
yeah, it's bad games, but I mean, there's bad games
yeah, there's all
here
sorts
in
of
the states. Here in the
yeah.
states every week, so
And
it
also,
kind of evens out.
Bills Mafia lost a home game too. I mean, not that it really bothers me, but as a Dolphins fan, but that's one less game up in New York because that was a home game for the Bills, which just kind of stinks. But we're just old men who like to complain. Here we go.
Complain about Yeah, we complain about everything.
Yeah, that's what we do. It's our true sign of aging as we get to be all curmudgeony.
Pleasure.
And pain. I love it every week.
That's interesting. So of course, so we'll start with the quarterbacks. I'm kind of going to just do the pleasures and pains kind of together instead of like maybe separating them. I'm going to see how that goes because a lot of times we can incorporate,
Recycle.
we can incorporate as we go. So I mean, you got a bunch of guys. We'll just if it's the pleasure, it's a pleasure. If it's pain, we'll just talk about it. And I'm going to go with my biggest pleasure of the week, probably back on Thursday. I think that's where I'm going to start. So, like I said, we're our first combo here. We got Justin Fields, and then I'll throw in DJ Moore as well. So the last 2 weeks, or DJ Moore's kind of been having a good year all around since the beginning. He's been pretty solid, but these last 2 weeks especially. And Fields kind of looked like the guy that I thought he was going to start looking like in the beginning. He ran a little bit more. So with the Bears these last 2 weeks looking like, fantasy killers here, is this normal or are we just going to end up reversing back to the beginning? How are you taking it? Or how are you ranking it? May I say?
I got to move them both up. There's no way around that. They both will move up. I'll see where Fields. I mean, because this week realistically, Lamar took a half a step back because he looked like poo and was probably hit that. But but looking at who we're moving there, somebody has to go down for him to go up. But the way Fields has played the last 2 weeks, that warrants moving up more. I mean, is he a top 12 as long as Fields plays like this? He might be sneaking in there. I mean, at least top 15 or somewhere in there. But I'm going to sneeze while I say this real quick. So, I'm allergic to good bears, but this is what happened last year, though. I mean, they started out like poo, and then all of a sudden Fields went ballistic. So, I mean, this year but it was the Commanders, so we'll see what happens as they move forward. I mean, they've got to pass now. I mean, their running game is demolished. Herbert's out 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, and Herbert was playing. That's kind of a pain to go along with this pleasure here. Herbert was playing really well. I mean, he had 10 carries for 76 yards. He was busting chunk after chunk, looking really good coming off the 100-yard game last week.
Mm-hmm.
They said he was going to be out a couple weeks, 3 to 4, maybe 5 weeks. Does this open up the door for Roschon Johnson? I know he had a concussion, I think. So if he clears protocol, I know it's 10 days. 10 days till their next game. If he clears protocol, I mean, he's definitely getting a heavier workload, right?
Of course he does, because that's the week I don't need him. I had him on my bench the week that Taylor comes back and Kamara's back. I had him as a stopgap, and yeah, of course he'll be good then. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, if he can start getting his wheels rolling, then Herbert comes back. I mean, who knows? This team could not be the heaping pile of poo we thought they were the first 3 weeks. I mean, they lost, but I mean, they got to win. A win's a win in the NFL at this point.
I mean, yeah, a lot of times the hardest thing is to get that first win, and then after that, it's maybe a little easier because like they were pressing a lot earlier in the game. The next guy, I mean, this guy, a lot of people have probably got mixed feelings about him, but surprisingly, somehow he is right around that top 12 QB. Sticking with Thursday, Sam Howell had big numbers. I mean, he's had several big fantasy games this year. currently, like I said, inside barely top 12. Is is he going to stay there? Are you projecting this in your rankings, or
No,
is he falling?
I'm not projecting it. He just is overachieving.
Hey, well,
He's
that was
at
my
the
bold
top
that was my
randomly.
bold prediction, right?
It was like we both like Sam Howell though. I mean, that's the thing about it. Like the Couriers have been Sam Howell supporters. We thought this year he'd be good. I was with you on board with that one. Probably not as high on him as you were. I mean, I haven't taken the risk on ranking him that high yet, but I mean, he's warranting moving up because he is. I mean, he's playing great. I mean, when Brian Robinson isn't showing out, he's playing. When Brian Robinson is showing out, he's still. It's yeah, he's looking pretty good. That's the gist of that. That's all I got. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't. He still makes me nervous. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if
Oh,
I can put top
he
12.
definitely makes you nervous because it's not pretty to watch. I mean, he still takes a lot of sacks. I mean, they were down big, and so I mean, Commanders don't seem to be a great team. They
Oh,
might
I
be
lied.
playing.
He was
They
my
might be.
number 12 quarterback.
Oh yeah, so
I
you're so
lied.
you're so you're
I'm
right
with you,
on.
man.
But I mean, as long as they're playing from behind and they gotta throw, I mean, I think he can pretty much stay in that general area. You mentioned Lamar earlier. He's kind of been up and down. Are you confident in Lamar every week, or is it more like, am I going to get this Lamar, or am I going to get that Lamar worth $200 million?
I mean, his poo games have been against two decent defenses. So Pittsburgh's not a great team this year, but their defense is still Pittsburgh defense. It's not the locking one. And that's what slowed him down. I mean, here's how terrible it was. Lamar was my 5. Richardson was my 6. But that's not good. I won't be number 1 quarterback this week. But Lamar, I mean, if you look at what his low games, they have been against teams that aren't as strong. I mean, that are stronger rather, and his other. So he can't play Pittsburgh and Cleveland every week. So there's the hopes. It can't be
That's
raining. That's what I'm
that's true.
looking.
I mean, at the end of the day, Lamar's going to have more or more good games than bad. You just got to hope those bad games really
Tennessee
aren't
next
that
week,
bad.
so everything's fine.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Anthony Richardson, along with his teammate, they were both kind of like him and let's say Zach Moss, kind of like a pleasure and pain both today, right? Because Anthony Richardson started out hot. He looked good in the beginning, and then he had that shoulder injury, disappeared. That's where the pain comes from. So this is like multiple weeks back to back where he got injured, had the concussion, and now he's got the shoulder. This is what comes from you get those rushing quarterbacks. And then you got move over to Zach Moss with the big news of Jonathan Taylor signing, and Moss goes out there and has another monster game. He's just been on fire all year. Are you confident in Moss one more week, or you're just going to set Moss and just be like, I can't risk it?
Oh, actually, I'm thinking I might set Minshew and Pittman and all the tight ends, and it's gonna be that. Remember that Kirk Cousins game where he passed 4 times or something like that? Like they'll just hand it to Moss one way, hand it to Taylor the other way. I mean, Taylor was more of the letdown there in that bunch, but Moss, holy moly! Like they said, pitch count for Taylor. I thought they were meant like Moss would get 60% and Taylor would get 40%. Not Moss would just roll over the Titans and beat the living snot. I mean, is Moss the RB1 this week so far
I,
until McCaffrey plays?
I think Brees Hall might
Oh,
be
Brees. Oh, that yeah.
RB1. Yeah, speaking of Brees Hall, they took off that
Yeah.
stat count, and here we go. This was the Brees Hall that we seen in that opening game with the 2 carries for big yards. But yeah, I mean the Jets even played now. Granted, they did play the Denver Broncos, who are
No.
absolutely terrible, but still, I mean, huge game. And I think this is probably going forward what we can expect more with Hall getting all the carries and Dalvin Cook pretty much being fodder at this point.
Insurance. I mean, Dalvin Cook was getting some touches in the game when I was watching it. I love YouTube. By the way, YouTube TV is killing it on
Oh
their
yeah, great.
programming. Like, I can create my own 4 window through the multi-view. Like, kudos to you, YouTube. If you're looking to promote us, go for it. But yeah, like he's. I've been trying to in our league give away my soul for him, and I just can't do it. I almost got him a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit last week. It's just not happening. I got him. I mean, he was. I believe I haven't looked for a while, but he was really high on my dynasty rankings anyway, and I hadn't budgeted him no matter how far I started. I mean, he's still like probably he might be one or two, he might be ahead of Bijan. Like, I think he's my 2. I still got McCaffrey because I think he's got a couple years, and then Brees
Oh
Hall.
yeah.
So, I mean, I think Brees Hall's that good.
Yeah, definitely. Now he's getting the carries. another guy like the waiver wire guy of the week last week, McLaughlin. I was gonna say McLaughlin. McLaughlin had a pretty solid showing today. Could almost come up with another touchdown there at the end. Couldn't quite get in. But if Devontae Williams doesn't play, I mean, are we confident in starting this guy every week?
I'm about ready to. I almost have to. I'm almost wondering if he takes it away. Like this is how it happens. I mean, he only had 9 carries, but that was I think game script. I mean, Samar GP runs out 6 carries, but he looked better. I mean, he's looked better than even when Javonte played. I think 7.6 yards per carry warrants you something as far as I mean, there was one long run, but so it was 8 for 30, so it's like almost 4 yards, but still he's staying on the field. He's healthy, so
Yes. Speaking of few carries, big yards, your boy Devin Achane, another monster game. This guy's averaging like 15 yards a carry at the moment. How long does this last? I mean, it can't go on, right?
at least 3 more years till his contract expires. I wish I could amend my bold prediction to go. Bijan's not going to be the number one running back. It'll be someone else. No, I said Gibbs, but but I did say when the draft was coming, I thought Gibbs and A Chain were the same player, and I think it really is. A Chain's getting the opportunities. If Gibbs got more opportunity and Montgomery wasn't just killing it, like it would be, they'd be the same place. But I mean, A Chain, they split the carries 11 and 10. I mean, he is just it's a rocket shot out of a freaking cannon, and I'm loving it. I'm getting every time I see him touch the ball. Us Dolphins fans just get giddy every time he touches the ball. We're like, it's gone. It's like watching Tyreek on a short pass. Same thing with he shot out. Like it's just two beautiful things to watch.
Yeah, and I got a couple more. I'm not sure what happened to James Conner. I know that's kind of a pain. I know we were kind of high on James Conner going in. He got hurt, and then in comes some Amari DeMarcado guy you never heard of.
Don't
But
worry, we'll
yeah,
talk about him soon.
yeah. So I don't know what the injury was. Did they say what the injury was for James Conner?
I missed. I saw that he was injured, but if you
Yeah,
go to
wasn't
the,
it?
I can pull it up real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that he was injured. Didn't even think to look it
Yeah,
up.
so a couple of other guys I want to talk about that's on the same team. Derrick Henry,
And the
I am
injury.
the injury, yeah. So we don't know how. So that
Wow.
could go both
All right,
that could go both ways. We don't know how that's going to work. I want to talk about Derrick Henry. I mean, so coming in the big game last week, I was saying, hey, it's still Derrick Henry, nothing to worry about. Then coming back this week, another bad game. I may be starting to worry about Derrick Henry and maybe getting a little bit excited about Tajay Spears. What's your worry level with Henry? I know you're invested in him a little
I
bit.
got I got double Henry. I mean, worry levels there, but I don't know if it's a Henry worry or it's the Titans because I mean he got 13 touches, so it's not, and he got one pass. So apparently he's better than Tannehill at throwing the. No, he still got 0 yards, but but he's getting the. I don't know. I think it's game script. I'm not. He's still Derrick Henry. You're not going to set him. I think he's moving down my rankings. I mean, I don't. He was
I
my
mean,
number 3 this week. I thought he would roll on the Colts. I mean, I gotta. If he stays in the top 10, he'll be a
yeah,
trade.
I think we're having a hard time keeping Henry in the top 10 because he's not getting those 20 carries a game. It seems to be more of like that 12, 13, 14, 15. That's just not what we're used to. So sticking with the Titans and moving the wide receiver, this is kind of a pleasure after we just ragged on him all week last week about being a total waste of everything. That's DeAndre Hopkins popping up out of nowhere with 140 receiving yards. And then I want to also slide in here George Pickens, who also, right, had a monster game, right? So with both of these guys having big games and being okay the rest of the season, which one would you prefer to start going into next week?
Ugh. I'll go with the young guy, maybe. Which I don't have. I've got Pickens. So I'll say Pickens. I don't have any D Hop, but I mean, you're going with them holding your nose because they both have the same problem. I think they're both fine players. I think Pickens has a brighter future, obviously. D Hop's still going to get his, but it's Tannehill versus Pickett, so it's both pukey. So you just don't want either of them right now.
I agree. I mean, of course, you're starting both of them
Oh yeah, if you got
either
him.
way. But just saying, like, who would you prefer to start? But I'd probably go with Pickens too, just because I like Pickens more.
Like,
And I was ragging on D Hop last week. Really can't go back to it now. I got to give it a couple more weeks. And I'll give a shout out to Jamar Chase for always being open. Had a monster game. He almost had a fourth touchdown. The Bengals offense kind of opened up and looked a little better than they have
Cardinals,
than they
Cardinals,
have. But
Cardinals,
oh
Cardinals.
yeah, I played my boy Josh Dobbs. Didn't fare too well this week either. But yeah, is there any worries with Jamar Chase? There's no worries, is it?
No, I mean, I think we mentioned it sort of as much last week. It comes down to the health of the calf of Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow are, for their career, going to be joined at the hip. If Joe Burrow goes down, Jamar Chase is in trouble. If Jamar Chase goes down, Joe Burrow's down because we know T. Higgins is gone next year. We know, if not this year. I mean, he's been injured, but we know that he's not their long-term plan because they can't pay him. So those two are very dependent, and I think I mentioned it on here. I've talked to people too. Like Joe Burrow should not have played the month of September. I think it would have benefited him. And I mean, he got lucky to not come out with more injury. They just look like crap. So now they looked great. Hopefully, it wasn't just the Cardinal effect, like I was joking. But oh my goodness, Jamar Chase just yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So, all right, so next I got two sets of teammates here. I want to tell me what you think. So the return of Cooper Cup. Cooper Cup, he come right back in, and it looks like he never missed a beat. Just the same old Cooper Cup. Now it did affect Puka Nakua a little bit. He did have that touchdown, so he did manage to salvage your game. So the other two guys I want to bring up, I'm going back to London. We got Stephon Diggs, who's been a top tier wide receiver, and then we've got Gabriel Davis, who's quietly having a productive season. So going forward, which pair of teammates would you prefer to have? Would you prefer to have the Bears wide receivers or the Rams wide receivers?
I'm thinking it was the Bills or the Rams. We'll go.
What did I say? The Bears?
You're so Bearsed up. It's
No,
crazy.
I'm all Bears up.
I think I'm still gonna go with the Rams because the volume I think is there because both those guys are still getting the volume. Gabe
There's a
Davis,
lot of volume going around in Buffalo too.
but who else are they going to throw to? I mean, Tutu Atwell sneaks in a touchdown. Tyler Higbee sneaks in a little bit, but I just those two are little Cooper, big Cooper. They're both getting the same kind of play, and Stafford's just going to pepper the crap out of them, and the Rams' defense isn't good, so they're going to pass a lot more. The Bills are going to be ahead more. They'll get James Cook some stuff. They'll get stuff to the two tight ends.
And Josh Allen's on a heater right now.
Yeah, and I don't know. Gabe Davis right now, I mean, it's a four touchdowns in a row every week, and good thing I've played him none of those weeks. So I'm going to play him next week so he doesn't get a touchdown. And I played Nico over him this week because I got to remember Nico Collins. He's going to do good next week. If you look at this, he's an every other week guy.
Speaking of Nico Collins, not good. Along with CJ Stroud, because Houston finally came down a little bit. Tank Dell got hurt. So that was looking a little rough as far as pain goes. Justin Jefferson also went down at the end of the game with a quad injury. So I think we need to keep an eye on that because that could really hurt a lot of people, not only with Jefferson, but the Kirk Cousins owners as well.
Us KJ Osborne owners will be great.
Well, I mean, maybe Jordan Addison, Jordan Addison owners will help out a little bit. I mean, he had a touchdown today, so it's going to hurt.
His catch count did go up by like thousands of a percentage point compared to last week's 0 catch.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. So I'm going to do something that I haven't done all year, and it's going to be the first time I've done it. I'm going to talk tight ends for the minute. I want to give a shout out to Dallas Goedert for reminding us that he still plays for the Eagles. So I want a shout out to that. Now, going along with that, it did kill Devonta Smith. He had a dreadful game. That's back-to-back games. But that's not the guy I really wanted to talk about. The guy that I really wanted to talk about is like the number one tight end in fantasy football right now. That's Cole Kmet, which is absolutely crazy.
What? Cole Kmet's number one.
It might be different in different leagues, but some of the leagues, like Cole Kmet somehow being like a top tight end with Sam Laporta being like number two.
Yeah.
So are these two guys the next top tight ends in the league?
I, I think Sam Laporta is the root. I would give up Travis Kelce for Sam Laporta today.
Oh
Like
yeah, the dynasty. Oh yeah.
even in regular, I think Kelsey has another couple of years. I don't think Kelsey's done. I think he's gonna play for a couple more years unless he decides to just cold turkey stop. But Sam Laporta just looks so good. Sam Laporta is the next Kelsey. Cole Kmet, we've seen him tease us before. Like, how did he get? I gotta look at his stats. Like, you're shocking me right here. Like, it's like
I don't know if it's 100% true, but I'm pretty sure he's up there.
But yeah, no, but I know Sam Laporte. Sam Laporte had to have passed him today with that monster murder game of 2 touchdowns. But I'm in love with Sam Laporte. He's my new favorite player in the league that I will get none of because nobody's gonna. I got one share, so I would give up. I've got Kelsey, Andrews. They're all available. Send me Sam Laporte. I'll give you first round picks, but I'm in love with Sam Laporte. He's my new favorite
Yeah,
player.
you're gonna have to give up Travis Kelsey plus to get Sam Laporta.
Probably Mark Andrews too. Okay, got it.
Yeah, Mark Andrews and Travis Kelsey.
And a first.
Hey, it might be worth it. Might be worth it.
Might be worth it. That's
But yeah,
10, 15 years.
yeah, that's all I got, man. It's on to you.
Oh yeah.
Surefire waste of a touchdown.
Okay, here we go. My favorite segment of the week as I open too many screens, so all my notes aren't up here. Here we go. So let us go. You mentioned it earlier to Arizona. We have an 11-yard rushing touchdown from
Sorry about that.
No, Imari DeMarcado. Check him out on your waiver wire. He's probably going to be fabbed up like crazy or waiver wire priority this week for 1 week only. And 1 week only. That is definitely a
Surefire race of a touchdown. Yeah, he might be getting the McLaughlin numbers from last week.
yeah, he could step higher. Yeah. I'm not sure about the second one, but I think he's playing too much. Tajay Spears can't count. Can he? Do you think? Can I give him a surefire waste?
Well, the plan was you were going to mention it, and I was going to tell you that can no way say that Tajay Spears is a surefire waste of a touchdown. Even though, granted, most people didn't start him.
I started him against you because I had to.
Oh yeah.
I have Nick
But
Chubb, Saquon Barkley.
I think he's too successful. But I mean, if you want to do it, I mean, I still can't say it.
I was trying to figure out, are Zach Moss's touchdowns surefire waste of a touchdown this week because everybody benched him? I was joking. I was thinking.
Do you think people benched him for Jonathan Taylor?
I know one idiot that did.
Was that you?
Yeah. Luckily, my team's still demolished. But yeah, like I said, there's not a lot this week actually. This is a feel good story of the year. 6-yard touchdown pass from Derek Carr. Chris Olave, no. Oh, Michael Thomas, maybe no. Kamara, another one, no. It's straight out of the cancer ward, crushing cancer quicker than Roman Reigns. Foster Moreau gets a 6-yard touchdown. Great heartfelt story for our boy there, but yeah, it's still definitely a
surefire waste of a touchdown. I didn't know he had cancer. I must have missed that one.
Yeah, he got right about March. He got cancer right at the free agency time, and the Saints picked him up. And it probably isn't totally waste since Juwan Johnson was out. Some people might have tried to sneak him in or take some.
It's pretty much waste.
But yeah, I doubt. I picked him up at one point because I always heard that if he can get out of under Waller, he'd be okay. 5-yard touchdown run for the Detroit Lions. David Montgomery grabbing a no.
I wish he would have. I really needed it.
That would help my daily fantasy. And Craig Reynolds, 5-yard touchdown run. Not Josh Reynolds. Not David Montgomery. That's definitely a
surefire waste of a touchdown. It just doesn't matter what running back they put back there. You always seem to produce something, man.
As long as it's not Jahmyr Gibbs. They don't like him.
Oh, it ain't Jahmyr Gibbs.
The guy
or DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre
Either one of those guys, they suck.
But he's pretty DeAndre, man. He's proven me wrong. And this is literally the only other one I have. Like the rest of the game.
I can't believe you're not going to mention the guy that I'm thinking. So I'm really.
Oh, I want you to tell yours. I can't wait to hear this. So, 1-yard touchdown pass from Bryce Young. After that day, Adam Thielen. No, I wish it was Miles Sanders. He's been a pile of poo. Boy, am I wrong? Terrible. We'll be starting soon. Tommy Tremble, a blast from the tight end landscape.
We're tight end, but I expected a different one.
Sure, but that's still one, isn't it?
Oh no, yes, definitely, yeah, definitely a surefire waste of a touchdown. Absolutely, 100%.
Who did I miss?
I thought you were going to go with my boy Adam Troutman.
I couldn't do it to you. I looked at him. I thought people started him.
Well, man, I mean, maybe I didn't think it because all I've been reading is Adam Troutman belongs to the waiver wire. That's all I've
Oh, he
been hearing. Like
does.
the
Adam
past 2
Troutman does
weeks.
belong on the waiver wire. So
I
Oh,
thought
I
for
have a
sure he
bonus
was.
one. 3-yard touchdown pass from Russell Wilson. Is it Jerry Judy? No. Is it Cortland
would.
Sutton? No. It's Adam Troutman, and that is a
Surefire waste of a touchdown, baby. But I love Adam Troutman.
like this week was so pretty much chalk. That's it. There were 5. Not as fun as usual. Maybe that's why we're good because our teams are solidly built this week, and the garbage guys aren't beating us anymore.
My teams aren't solidly built. I just got a solidly lucky week.
Okay, JJ, take us out of here.
Yeah, so this one's all about me. I'm going to need your prayers more than just for my guinea pig, right? So I know the Cowboys and the 49ers play. I know I've always grown up with the Cowboys, but I'm rooting hard for the 49ers tonight. I need everybody to pray that Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk just absolutely kill it tonight. I need your prayers. So as always, trust yourself and trust the process.